go.
Hi there, I'd just like to give you a brief introduction to this product called Uniglide Friction Reducing Concentrate. It's a 10W30 semi-synthetic oil designed to mix with synthetic oils or mineral oils. It goes into engine, diff, gearbox, petrol, diesel, manual, automatic, hydraulics, and the way it works, it's a metal treatment concentrate. Once it gets onto metal, ferrous or non-ferrous, you don't get it off unless you machine it off. Now, the object of this exercise is to demonstrate how Uniglide FRC can enhance the operating properties of any commercially available, regularly available oil that you can get off the shelf in your local spare shop. I've chosen today to use a Castrol product. It's a, what have we got here? It's Castrol Edge Titanium. As you can see, it's a 5W30. It's an API SL according to the labeling. So it's a current grade of oil. What we're going to do is we're going to add some of this oil into the sump on this Timken tester. Now this is a very basic piece of equipment to show the film strength that you can get out, you can expect from your oil. It's an electric motor with a belt drive and a shaft, and on the end of the shaft we have a bearing which is going to be rotated by the electric motor. In this clamp arrangement we have a ball bearing which is case hardened, and we have a torque wrench, and what we're going to do is we're going to spin it up and we're going to use the ball bearing as a brake, and we're going to load up the bearing to see how many Newton meters of torque it takes to break through the film strength, the film of this oil, and to seize the electric motor. So let's go. We'll take some of this oil. Add it to the sump. There you go. Let's just close this up so that we don't have an accident. And let's fire up the electric motor. As you can see, there's oil that's picked up and it's being flung around the bearing. It's a brand new bearing. I'm now going to use a static bearing as a brake against the rotating bearing. And I want you to have a look at the torque wrench and at the ammeter. The ammeter is going to show you how much amp draw there is, and we'll see how that changes once we start loading up the bearing. If you look at the torque wrench, you'll see. What's that, 40 Newton meters or so? 700. Oh, it's 50 Newton meters. We'll do that again. You can see the load getting on the ammeter, going up. There you go. Let's now have a closer look at this bearing. You'll see how it's taken a massive chunk out of the bearing, and if you look from this angle here, you'll probably get a better shot. It's a significant bite. I'm now going to rotate this bearing so that we've got fresh metal with which to work. Oof, that's hot. We're now going to add approximately 10% of Uniglide friction reducing concentrate. I don't know the exact measurement because it's just in the tube and it's not calibrated. Alright. Now remember, it's seized at 50 Newton meters. 50 Newton meters. You're not even getting an additional load on the ammeter. It's loaded up. There's 100. What that was, but that was probably around 120. Let's have a look at the nature of this wear. Now, if you look carefully, you can see a tiny polished spot, and compare that with the original wear, and that was at approximately 3 times the load. We're now going to put this onto fresh metal again, and now, anybody knows that if your engine ingests dust, you could have serious and expensive problems as a result. So we're now going to contaminate this Uniglide treated oil with dirt, and this is just some soil out of the garden, and one would hope that you're never ever unfortunate enough to have that running through your motor. So that's seriously contaminated oil, and if you look closely, you'll see it's picking up dirt all the time. Now we're going to load it up and see what happens. You'll remember that at 40 Newton or 50 Newton meters, the untreated oil was broken and the motor seized. Well, there you go. We still don't have any load on the ammeter. Let's do some shock loads. Let's have a look at this wear scar. If you get up close, because you're going to look real carefully now, because it's a very, very small wear scar. Way, way smaller, and that was with seriously contaminated oil. Alright. Now, in the tragic event of you losing a sump plug or bashing a hole in your sump, and you keep on driving, you've got a terminal problem happening. Now, we're not suggesting that anybody runs around with no oil in their car, but with your motor treated with Uniglide friction reducing concentrate, you've got more chance of protecting against catastrophic distraction than if you haven't. The sum total of the lubrication is what's on that bearing. Bear in mind, untreated oil again, seized at 50 Newton meters. You're still not getting a load on your ammeter. Shock loads. Let's take another close look at that bearing. That wear scar hasn't grown at all, really. If it has, it's negligible. Alright, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this bearing into fresh metal again. And I'm going to clean this bearing with emery paper, the water paper. It's the only thing that will get the Uniglide off, is you've got to machine it off, as I mentioned previously. So let's just clean this off. I'm now going to run dry bearings, no oil at all, to demonstrate how Uniglide will work once we've treated it. Alright, seriously please, you can see what it's done to that bearing. If you look at the nature of the wear, it's dull and it's got striations on it that have been ground into it by the metal pickup, that rotating bearing. Now, I'm going to lubricate this. Bit of Uniglide on my fingertip. Let's put some on this bearing. It's going to be hot.
Not much.
No, there's not much there at all. I just thought it was just a smear on my fingertip. There's your 50 Newton meters plus, still not seized. You see the smoke coming off the bearing. If you look close to the bearing, you'll see that it's polished up that way. If you look at this angle, you'll see it's nice and shiny. And I won't be touching that, that's seriously hot. There's, see the carbon from the burnt oil around it. Okay, so what I've just shown you is the tenacious nature, the chemical bond between Uniglide friction reducing concentrate and metal. It can withstand high temperatures and extreme pressures. Whatever oil it's added to, it's going to enhance the operating parameters of that oil. This is an expensive oil found in your spares shops. It's a good oil, there's nothing wrong with it. But we can make a good oil better. So if you want to protect your equipment, whether it's a long haul truck, an earth mover, a tractor, or a moped, or anything in between, this product has been designed to be used in any of those applications. It's affordable. One bottle of 500 milliliters treats 5 liters of oil for your first engine oil treatment. Subsequent oil changes, it reduces to just 3% by volume of your capacity. Manual transmission, 10% by volume each oil change. Automatic transmission, just 5%. Wet clutch on a motorcycle, just 5%. Two-stroke oil, you dilute your two-stroke oil by 10% by volume and use it in the same premix ratio, whether it's 20 to 1 or 25 to 1, wherever it might be. Affordable, and it works. Thanks for watching.